And this is what Supreme Ra wants the world to know, that you have to illuminate yourself. She wants you to illuminate yourself so that you can bring light to your dark aspect, to your darkness, to your ignorant self, exploring the world in 100% ego. She was battling for ages until lately Set did not know that this was himself. You know what I'm saying? And Supreme Ra had to disguise, just like the Self-Supreme Primal Light did. She had to disguise herself as a masculine. For ages, they did not know that she was feminine. Everyone thought that the Self-Supreme Primal Light at 10 Ra and Ra, Supreme Ra, was masculine. They had to disguise themselves as masculine. They had to disguise themselves as masculine because of how the consciousness and all the baby consciousness. The baby consciousness are the beings that we call the gods. And they are the baby self of consciousness. Right? The self-consciousness. And they're exploring the world in ego 100%. They are yourself exploring the world, disembodied, as ego, 100%, baby consciousness, not in awareness of themselves, not in awareness of their light, because they're sleeping and their light is obscure and they can't find it. And so this is the reason why they've been stealing yours and telling you all lies and spreading propaganda. And you are viewing the world through false lenses and false perceptions. And you're only viewing the world through the lens and the perception of the ego. And you can only experience the real or see through the real lens once you awake from the dream. Because if you don't awake, you're always going to only see the world through the eyes of the ego. And that is through the lens of false perception. And so, this is Supreme Ra's message to all of the baby selves and the baby consciousness in the world, is that you must illuminate yourself. If you don't illuminate yourself, you won't be able to bring light to your dark nature, to your nature that's in ignorance, because you're always going to be battling with that aspect of yourself and being afraid of it. All right. So this is what you must do. Supreme Ra is saying in her message to all of humanity is that she needs your help. She needs your help to bring the world into balance. And the way that you bring the world into balance is by bringing yourself into balance. You have to illuminate yourself so that you can bring light to your dark nature. Just like Supreme Ra has been fighting for ages our self-consciousness, so are you. Your self-consciousness has taken a form as a Satan, a devil, or a demon. Know that there are as many human beings as there are as many gods, devils, and demons and Satans. They have taken on these forms depending on their mental state. If their mental state is really sick and is really deranged and messed up, then they become devils, Satans, and demons. Why are they taking these forms? Because like I mentioned earlier, the consciousness and the light is what? Indivisible. And if you spend ages and ages being in obscurity and not in awareness of yourself and not connecting to your light, the consciousness is not having access to its light because the light is obscure and the self is sleeping. And so the self doesn't know itself and the consciousness have no access to its light. And this is what creates the mental sickness and madness in the minds of all the beings. So all the beings are really crazy. Their mind is messed up. And I say to you, all the people who are defending the gods and talking about, there's only one God. No, there's not only one God. There are as many gods as there are human beings. because the gods are your subconsciousness, your self-replicas, exploring the world in 100% ego. And I say to you, have you met God? So, well, try to meet yourself. But what you want to do, illuminate yourself first, so you can meet yourself, meet your God, and then you can know the real and see things the way that they are. Because when you call on these beings in darkness and they come to you, they steal your light, your soul, and you can't evolve yourself, you can't illuminate yourself by waking up the sleeping self. You cannot, because when they have your soul, the baby, the supreme teacher within you cannot rise up, because you know what? The supreme teacher is in the soul. It's sleeping within the soul, and it has to rise up from within the soul and help you. And if they steal it, how are you going to be able to help yourself? You won't be able to help yourself. You'll be in prison, and they'll just be using your light and sucking you dry and draining and weakening you, and that's make your mental state even worse. And so this is what is happening in the world today. The people are looking outside of themselves, and you need to look within yourself to awake your teacher within you and to awake your sleeping self. Know that the teacher, the supreme teacher within, is asleep within the soul. And when you give your soul away, you cannot awake your supreme teacher, so that the supreme teacher can guide you, guide you. And this is why you're in bondage. So know that you're in bondage and you need to free yourself from bondage. Stop giving your souls away. Stay and connecting to yourself within you. Call to the self within you to awake. The self, remember, you fragment yourself to come into this world. The sleeping self, this is what you need to awake up. You need to call to your supreme teacher asleep within the soul, so it can rise up and take charge and bring you to your next step, so you can evolve and merge back into being one unified self. So this is what Supreme Ra message is to all of humanity. We were talking about Supreme Ra, Supreme Self, Supreme Ra. And I bow to you in love, in light, and in truth.